Every day, people are willing to walk away from Jesus. They decide the world has so much more to offer. They decide Jesus really isn't for them. If people only understood how much it costs the Savior to forgive them for their sins, and that the grace he offers is far from cheap, they would feel so differently. I think sometimes people go to church and they think they're signing up for some kind of an all-expense paid trip to happy heaven, only to later feel like the church has pulled some kind of a bait and switch on them because God does something they don't understand. It's like they walk away when they bump into the hard stuff. You know, like Matthew 16:24, deny yourself and follow me. They read that and they say, I'm not doing that. And they leave the church because they feel it's more than they signed up for. Well, you know what? It's easy to walk away from something that when you've never really understood the magnitude of your need, right, for Jesus. You've never really surrendered your life to him. Well, it's easy to walk away from that when you really don't know him, when you don't love him. Believers and churches need to start telling lost people the whole story. The world wants truth. They really do. They have been almost entertained to death. They need truth that they can stand on. They need to know not only how amazing grace is, but how much it's needed. People need to understand the depth of their sin and be sick of themselves. We don't need to be self-confident. We need to be Jesus-confident. We need to know and be relieved that our best works will never be enough to snatch us from hell. We need to rest in the fact that God came to save us, and we don't need Jesus plus something else. He is enough to satisfy us. He came to give us peace, hope, and joy as we trust him. But he's also enough to carry us when all else fails. And you know what? You don't get all those things from a cheap understanding of grace. Only when you understand how precious, how costly, how magnificent the gift of Jesus really is, will you hold on to it with all that you have. Only when you truly love him and know him in a real relationship can you walk through the fires of this life without being burned. It's the one true living God who defines himself. We can't pick and choose his attributes. He really is good. He really is worth following. Churches need to stop trying to sell Jesus cheaply to the crowds and invest the time to go deep. Talk about the hard stuff. Make disciples who will make disciples, but who will also stand with confidence and proclaim the Lord to a world who hates him and to us. Time is of the essence. The consequences are huge. Jesus is coming back, you guys. Will he find us faithful?